You step into a home, and grief isn't just, this heavy cloud. It's twisted. It's driving something really, really horrifying.
Yeah, and we're diving into a situation with these two siblings, Andy and Piper. Their dad dies suddenly, and boom, they're thrown into foster care.
Right. There's Andy, protective, carrying his own hidden stuff, and Piper, who navigates the world without sight, relying, deeply on her brother.
And they land in this place that seems like a refuge, but quickly proves to be anything but. Their foster mother, Laura, she appears caring initially, but underneath, well, there's this chilling dynamic starting to emerge.
And there's someone else, too. This quiet, kind of peculiar boy, Laura calls her nephew Oliver, adds to the whole unease.
Definitely. And right away, things just feel off, don't they? Laura showers Piper with this intense, almost possessive favoritism.
While subtly undermining Andy, antagonizing him even, and Oliver.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, just this profound strangeness to him you can't quite pin down.
So our mission here, really, in this deep dive, is to understand the mechanics of this whole nightmare. How does grief curdle into such extreme control? What is the horrific plan Laura is enacting?
Exactly. We're going to peel back the layers of this narrative, try to see the chilling secrets hidden right there in plain sight, and explore the dark depths of her desperation.
So stepping inside that house, the atmosphere is immediately charged. It's got this morbid history hanging in the air.
Yeah, and Piper is given the room of Laura's late daughter, Kathy, which is, well, it's presented as maybe a kindness, but it feels more like she's being placed into a role, inhabiting a space still heavy with loss.
And little things happen, but they really underscore the tension. Like when Andy accidentally lets the cat out and it ends up scratching Oliver. Seems minor, right?
But it highlights how fragile things are, how unpredictable this new place is, and Oliver's own strange reactivity.
Speaking of Oliver, there's a really key visual detail about him. It links him right to the horror of the story, this distinct wine-colored birthmark under his eye.
And why is that so important? Because Laura is obsessed with this grainy video she watches. And guess what? Someone in that video has the exact same mark.
And that video.
Yeah.
Wow. That's where you start to glimpse the true darkness Laura's involved in. It shows a ritual.
A really disturbing one. A girl placed in a ring, there's a bloated man, the first girl is hung, and then a second girl is revived. The girl with that specific birthmark.
And it's not just visuals. The video lays out these chilling rules. It talks about an angel possession, some entity consuming the old body.
Then someone else is killed, and the spirit or whatever it is gets transferred into this new body for resurrection. This isn't just some weird home movie. It's like the blueprint for what Laura is desperately trying to achieve.
And you see her motivations playing out immediately in how she treats the kids. That favoritism towards Piper isn't subtle at all. It's overt, almost suffocating.
And her antagonism towards Andy is just as clear. Deliberate even, like calling him by the wrong name repeatedly. It's such a calculated move.
Total power play to assert dominance, control the situation.
And that control just gets amplified when she goes through Andy's phone and she finds this text where he, understandably, given how weird everything is, called Oliver a fucking weirdo.
Yeah, which, given the circumstances,
yeah,
understandable, right? But for Laura, that just confirms her suspicions about Andy, probably justifies isolating him in her mind.
It's not just finding the text, it's the use she makes of it, how she uses it to push her own agenda forward.
And this weirdness, this control, it extends beyond the house, even to something as difficult and public as Phil's funeral, their dad's funeral.
Oh, that scene is heartbreaking. Piper can't see, right? So she asks Andy what their dad looks like in the casket. And Andy, just trying to protect her, lies, says he looks okay.
But Laura, instead of any comfort, she just jumps in, brutally revealing to Piper that Andy didn't even look, directly contradicting him, undermining him right there.
And then she brings up this incredibly disturbing custom, kissing the deceased on the lips.
Oh, yeah. And she doesn't just suggest it. She does it, performs it herself.
It's a boundary violation on so many levels, shows her compulsion for control and maybe this, twisted connection she has to death itself.
Later on, she orchestrates this night. Seems like some kind of messed up bonding attempt.
Right.
It's Andy and Piper drunk. There's this makeshift dance party.
A totally false sense of normalcy she creates. And then, of course, after Piper goes to sleep, the atmosphere shifts dramatically.
That's when she zeroes in on Andy. Laura shares the story of how her daughter Kathy drowned.
Tragic story, right? In the backyard pool.
And Andy, maybe the alcohol, maybe a moment of genuinely thinking they could connect. He opens up, tells her about the abuse he suffered from Phil, his dad.
How he hid it from Piper, to protect her image of their father. How he only felt like he had a real family when Phil married Piper's mom. It's this incredibly raw, vulnerable confession.
So much pain there. And what does Laura do with that trust, that vulnerability?
She weaponizes it immediately, cruelly. Right after this intimate conversation, she waits till he's asleep, urinates into her cup, and pours it on his pants. It's vile, just a vile act designed to frame him, humiliate him, assert her power.
And the cold calculation doesn't stop. She gets into his phone, unlocks it, and starts deleting stuff. Pictures of Oliver, pictures of the area around the house, any potential evidence he might have.
She's systematically isolating him, taking away his ability to document anything or get outside help. It's psychological warfare built on his deepest trauma.
Meanwhile, Oliver's peculiar nature just gets more and more central and terrifying. Andy gets left alone with him sometimes and desperately tries to connect, to understand this kid.
He tries to get Oliver to write something, anything. And all Oliver manages is the word bird.
Bird?
Yeah.
It's at random. Is it a clue? Just adds another layer to the mystery around him.
Then comes this truly horrific moment, the feeding incident. Andy's just cutting up cantaloupe for Oliver, something simple, right? Nurturing.
But Oliver, instead of eating the fruit, he takes the knife and starts chewing on the blade.
Yeah.
Chewing on it, severely damaging his mouth.
It's just shocking. Such self-destructive behavior, completely detached from normal human instincts. What does that even tell you about what or who Oliver really is in this state?
And this incident, it leads to the introduction of another critical element. This large white ring drawn around the house. Powder or salt, maybe.
Right, because Andy, seeing Oliver injured, naturally tries to take him to the hospital, get him help.
But the second they try to cross this white boundary, Oliver reacts violently. He writhes in agony. His skin actually burns and blisters. Visibly.
And Laura's reaction when she finds out, it confirms she knows exactly what this ring is and what it does. She rushes home, uses instructions from that cult video to calm Oliver down.
So the ring is like a physical manifestation of the ritual's power, a boundary for whatever possesses Oliver.
Or afflicts him.
And the strange physical stuff continues, like Oliver's eyes turning this bright, unnatural red during a bath.
These aren't just quirks anymore. They're symptoms of something deeply wrong, tied directly to the ritual and Laura's horrifying project. Oliver isn't just a strange boy. He seems to be a vessel. As Laura's plan starts to really take shape, her manipulation gets more overt, more terrifying. Remember that trauma Andy has, finding his father dead in the shower?
Yeah, and that phrase the ghost supposedly said, "She'll die in the rain."
That trauma, combined with this vision, it makes him terrified for Piper, especially when it rains. He's projecting his fear onto her safety.
And Laura, she cruelly exploits this. She deliberately takes Piper out to play in the rain, specifically by the pool, mirroring the exact circumstances of Kathy's drowning.
It's not chance, it's calculated. A chilling recreation of the fatal event. She's setting the stage for her actual intent.
And then she reveals the absolute sickening core of her plan. In the shed, she takes Piper there.
Oh God, this part.
And forces her, Piper, who can't see, to feel something inside a freezer.
It's Kathy's frozen corpse.
Exactly. It's profoundly disturbing, using Piper's lack of sight to make her physically interact with the old body from the ritual, confirming Laura's grotesque intentions beyond any doubt.
And her manipulation of Piper against Andy just escalates. Viciously. She sprays herself with Andy's body spray.
And then punches Piper. Hard. And blames Andy.
Such a calculated lie. Designed to shatter the trust between the siblings using physical violence, she twists Andy's earlier confession about Phil's abuse, his past troubles, turning his vulnerability into a weapon to make Piper doubt him.
And later, she does it again, stages another incident during a struggle, making Piper believe Andy hit her, just further isolating Piper, cementing that distrust.
But Andy has this breakthrough, this moment of desperate clarity. It comes from an unexpected place. He goes to the police station, maybe looking for help, maybe just desperate.
And sees a missing child poster.
Yeah. The picture is of a boy named Connor Bird, and it clicks. All the pieces fall into place with this sickening certainty. Oliver is Connor Bird. He was kidnapped.
He's not family. He's another victim trapped in Laura's web.
Armed with this crucial piece of information, Andy makes this frantic attempt to expose Laura. He takes the flyer straight to the social worker, Wendy.
Desperately trying to convince her Laura's dangerous, that Oliver is this missing boy. He's literally racing against time now, to save Piper, to save Connor.
But back at the house, while Andy's trying to get help, Oliver's condition just deteriorates. Rapidly. Horrifyingly.
He starts trashing the place, consuming everything around him in this frenzy.
And this consumption, it takes a turn for the truly grotesque. and self-destructive. He bites a huge chunk out of Laura's arm. Just bites her, driven by some primal, awful urge.
He chews on thick wooden furniture, damaging his mouth even more, and this just underscores the complete loss of his humanity. He bites a strip of flesh off his own arm and eats it.
What does that level of self-mutilation even mean? What's going on inside him?
Laura's response just confirms the ritualistic horror. She subdues him, but then she forces him to begin eating the old body.
That chilling instruction from the video, it means forcing him to consume Kathy's flesh. The ritual is reaching its absolute terrifying peak.
And the climax arrives with brutal speed. Laura's whole facade just crumbles when she overhears a voicemail Andy left for Piper.
A message full of love, but also a desperate warning about Laura.
She knows she's exposed, knows Andy and Wendy are on their way.
So in this moment of frantic desperation, she tries to clean up, hide the horrific mess Oliver made, trying to cover up the evidence before they arrive.
Wendy gets there first. And initially, walking in, she doesn't see anything obviously wrong. The house looks messy, maybe, but not.
But Andy knows. He knows the truth is hidden. He breaks into the shed.
And finds it.
Yeah.
The horrifying scene. Oliver with Kathy's corpse.
That's the moment of truth. Wendy sees the grotesque bite wound on Laura's arm. The lies just drop away.
And Laura, with this chilling conviction, just declares, we can bring her back. The full madness, the delusion, it's all laid bare right there.
And before Andy or Wendy can even fully react, maybe call for backup, Laura commits her final devastating act of violence.
She gets in her van and drives it directly into both of them. Runs Wendy over. Severely injures Andy.
And then she makes sure Andy can't expose her. She finishes him, drowns him in a puddle right there. It's just brutal, cold-blooded, all to protect her horrific secret.
With Andy gone, silenced, Laura goes back for Piper. She's determined to complete the ritual now.
Her goal is clear. Drown Piper in the pool, in the rain, recreating the exact conditions she believes will bring Kathy back by transferring that angel from Oliver to Piper.
But as Laura drags Piper towards the pool, Piper has these two critical moments of realization, tactile moments. First, she feels Oliver's head, realizes he has a buzz cut.
Contradicting Laura's earlier lie about him having red curly hair.
Exactly. Then she feels Andy's body and recognizes him by his braces.
Oh, wow. So in those moments, sightless but keenly aware through touch, she knows. Andy told the truth. Laura has lied about everything. She killed him.
So as Laura struggles to force her into the water, Piper fights back, desperately. And then in this pivotal, completely unexpected moment, amidst all the terror, Piper calls Laura
Mum.
After everything. Nope. That single word. In that context, attempted murder, grotesque ritual. It seems to break through Laura's delusion somehow.
Like a moment of genuine human connection, maybe reminding her of the motherhood she lost. Or recognizing some twisted bond that formed.
Something shifts in her.
Yeah, right.
It causes her to falter, to relent. She can't bring herself to complete the act, and she lets Piper go.
Wow. So what happens to Laura then?
In her final tragic act, she retrieves Kathy's body from the freezer. She opens the wound on its arm, maybe the bite mark from Oliver, and by the pool where Kathy drowned, she bleeds herself out, cradling her dead daughter's corpse.
Her obsession just consumed her entirely in the end.
Absolutely. And with Laura gone, the ritual broken, Oliver, the captive Connor Bird, finds release. He walks past that white boundary ring around the house, the line that previously caused him such agony.
Crossing it breaks the possession.
Seems like it. He begins to regurgitate and expel what he consumed, signifying the departure of whatever entity held him captive.
And
Piper runs from the nightmare, escapes the house, the ritual, until she's found by a kind couple who take her to safety.
Is there any, closure for her after all that?
There's a small but really profound moment of peace, or connection maybe. She hears Andy's final voicemail message for her, and then she hears a plane overhead.
The signal.
Their signal. The one Andy used to signify their dad going to heaven. Hearing it now, after everything, it brings her this moment of comfort, connection to her brother, a sense that his love, his truth, it found her.
And the police.
The police finally arrive. They find Oliver, who identifies himself as Connor Bird, confirming Andy was right. And then they find Laura, dead by the pool, finally reunited with Kathy, but only in death.
What a journey. It just takes you to these incredibly dark places, doesn't it? Exploring the power of unresolved grief, the terrifying lengths someone might go to escape it.
Yeah, you see the manipulation, the abuse, this truly grotesque attempt to cheat death through ritual possession. It's a lot.
But amidst all that horror, there are also these moments of resilience, that unwavering bond between Andy and Piper, and that surprising, complex flicker of human connection, the mom, that ultimately saves Piper.
It forces you to confront the boundaries, between grief, madness, and the truly unnatural.
So when you think about this incredibly dark, complex story, what elements really stand out? What resonates most strongly with you? Is it the psychological manipulation, the visceral horror of what happens to Oliver?
Or maybe those unexpected moments of human connection, right in the face of absolute terror.
And consider this. The story uses these powerful symbols, the white ring, the rain, the physical old body of Kathy. How do those specific elements make the horror feel more visceral, more inescapable?
And what is the breaking of those elements? Oliver crossing the ring, Piper escaping the rain in the pool. What does that signify for the survivors? Something to really mull over.